What's happening, guys? Sam Adams here, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Jampack Report today for September the 5th of 2019. And of course, for those that are brand new to the show, this is a daily gaming news podcast brought to you on youtube.com/Samuel Adams Media, as well as podcast services around the world that aims to keep you up to date and informed on everything happening in the gaming industry. And let me tell you, today we have a pretty big show for you because the Nintendo Direct for, of course, the 4th of September had a ton of news packed into it. From Overwatch officially coming to the Nintendo Switch to Sans from Undertale coming to Super Smash Bros. Sort of, kind of. We have tons of news to break down today. And then, of course, if you aren't a fan of Nintendo, we've got a couple of news stories here for you as well that are relevant, that are interesting, and that are totally worth talking about. But of course, like I said, if you are brand new to the show, I do hope you enjoy what I bring to the table. And if you do, be sure to click that subscribe button and stay up to date 5 days a week. And of course, there's also plenty of other content for you to check out. But without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into today's top gaming news. First off, Nintendo confirms Overwatch is coming to the Switch on October the 15th. And of course, the controls have changed a bit considering Nintendo's hardware. Nintendo has confirmed one of the biggest rumors in gaming over the last week or so is true. Overwatch will be available on Switch this fall. It revealed the news in the latest Direct. A couple of leaks and, of course, a Kotaku report indicated Blizzard's FPS was making its way to the console. But you will be able to start pushing payloads on Switch on October the 15th. The colorful team-based shooter seems like a good fit for the Switch, though how well it runs on the console remains to be seen. With that being said, if Nintendo's hybrid can handle the demanding Witcher 3, albeit with some compromises, it seems you should be able to play Overwatch at a decent enough frame rate while you are on the go, assuming you have a reliable data connection for online-only gaming, that is. Overwatch brings players together to cooperate and compete in a bright and optimistic vision of the future, and we are looking forward to welcoming Nintendo Switch gamers into the fun, J. Allen Brack, president of Blizzard Entertainment, said in a statement. The Legendary Edition includes more than 3 years' worth of content updates and gameplay enhancements, and we are excited to team up with Nintendo to provide players with new ways to enjoy the full Overwatch experience, including on the go. The Switch version has a little something extra compared with other platforms: motion controls. There's also a bonus Widowmaker skin on offer if you pre-order a copy, and you'll get 3 months of Nintendo Switch Online with the game. If you log in by December the 31st, you will receive a golden loot box as a bonus, which includes at least one legendary item. Blizzard is also offering 15 bonus skins with the Legendary Edition for Nintendo Switch, 5 legendary outfits, 5 epic looks, and 5 origin skins. It will be available in a boxed version with a download code and, of course, through the Nintendo eShop for $39.99. Crossplay won't be available at launch. Blizzard sent the following statement to Engadget regarding cross-platform capabilities. We have seen how compelling cross-system play can be for our community, and we are excited about the potential. There is still a lot of work to do on both our side and the platform side to determine whether this is something that makes sense for Overwatch, and we are keeping an eye on how cross-play systems and technology develop. So for the foreseeable future, it seems you won't be able to access skins, voice lines, and sprays you have earned on PS4, Xbox One, or PC when you play on Switch, but Switch owners will finally be able to find out for themselves what all the fuss is about with this game next month. And so, of course, this is a confirmation of something that, as the article says, has been long rumored, long leaked, and, of course, long looked forward to. That was probably the incorrect grammar to use, but hey, who really cares? But Overwatch coming to the Switch, a pretty cool fit. My only concern is that crossplay could come to the game. Now, I want to make a definitive statement here. Cross-save, perfectly fine. I would love to be able to transfer skins back and forth between the skin or the system that I'm playing on currently and the Nintendo Switch. That is all well and good. To have progress saved across platforms, that is perfectly fine. But cross-play brings a bit more of a challenge because, again, the Nintendo Switch players are going to be at a direct disadvantage as compared to those that are playing on PC, PS4, and Xbox One. That's just the nature of the beast. I'm sorry. Nothing against the Nintendo Switch, but whenever you are limited by the mobile nature of the console, when you are limited by less powerful hardware, you simply are going to be at a disadvantage, especially when it comes to ranked play. And of course, I highly doubt they would ever do crossplay with ranked modes, but just in general, to have a team full of Nintendo Switch players and you're the one guy on PC that gets paired up with them, That doesn't sound like a very fun time, so I'm sure they're going to be keeping an eye on this. I would be shocked if cross-play came, but cross-save really should be something they should look into, even if you have to log into a Blizzard account to ensure that you can, in fact, save all of your stuff and kind of sync across platforms. That should be something that is able to be done. But that is yet to be seen. We will keep an eye on that. However, if you did want to dive in and play Overwatch on the Nintendo Switch, it's coming out on October the 15th for Nintendo's little hybrid handheld. However, moving on to the next big news from the Nintendo Direct, Super Nintendo games are coming to Switch for online subscribers, which is something that has been much looked forward to. You have been asking for it since 2016, and now you are getting it. Nintendo just announced that a range of Super Nintendo titles will be made available for Nintendo Switch Online, and the first lineup includes the following: Brawl Brothers, Demon's Crest, Joe and Mac 2 Lost in the Tropics, Kirby's Dream Land 3, Star Fox, Super EDF Earth Defense Force, Super Mario Kart, Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island, Super Puyo Puyo 2, Super Tennis, Breath of Fire, F-Zero, Kirby's Dream Course, Pilot Wings, Stunt Race FX, Super Ghouls and Ghost, Super Mario World, Super Metroid, Super Soccer, and The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. A rewind function will be available at launch, and there will also be online multiplayer. Oh, and like with the NES, Nintendo will be selling a retro SNES controller that will connect wirelessly to the Nintendo Switch, and the service itself launches tomorrow, September the 5th, if you did want to pick up any of these 20 games on Nintendo Switch Online. But overall, number one, 20 games launching at once is a very impressive amount of titles to have added to the Nintendo Switch Online offering. And I will say that I've been pretty impressed with what I've seen from Nintendo's subscription service, considering that it is much more budget-friendly as compared to what you get from PlayStation Plus and Xbox Live Gold. But overall, this is a fantastic addition to the lineup, and I think adds a ton of value to the Nintendo Switch Online service. Of course, it already has a ton of value, but to be able to offer a huge catalog of classic games that includes the SNES is something I think a lot of fans are going to be going in on. But if you do want to check out any of those 20 games, they're out today, September the 5th, on the Nintendo Switch Online service. And again, you can dive in and check it out. And of course, I believe the offer is still available. If you have Twitch Prime, there was a Nintendo Switch Online one-year offering for free that was included with the service if you do want to log in and see if that's something you are eligible for. But overall, again, I believe it's only $5 a month, something along those lines. Really, really affordable. You can find the entire pricing rundown on Nintendo's website. But moving on, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is getting even more DLC fighters. Hopefully, Waluigi will be included as well. Today's Nintendo Direct revealed that even more DLC fighters are in development for Nintendo's Super Smash Bros. Ultimate beyond the 5 initially promised. When the game launched, Nintendo only revealed 5 DLC fighters, plus the pre-order bonus Piranha Plant. The first, Joker from Persona 5, debuted in April, with the second, the Hero from Dragon Quest, debuting in July. The third, Banjo-Kazooie, drops today, and the fourth, Terry Bogard from Fatal Fury, was just revealed in yesterday's Nintendo Direct, but there is still no announcement on the 5th fighter. Each character is $6, although the 5-character DLC pack is still available for $24.99. After the Nintendo Direct, Super Smash Bros. Series director Masahiro Sakurai nailed it. Added more context to his decision in a special Smash-focused video presentation. Quote, "To me, it feels like the finish line is sliding farther away," he said. "You may wonder how much longer can he be involved with Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, but I am also excited. Adding more characters into the game means more game worlds will be added to the series, and ultimately that means there will be an even greater opportunity to delight fans. At the same time, I feel that Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is representing so many characters and game worlds that it's become an enormous game. Even if the Super Smash Bros. Series continues moving forward, I doubt there will be an opportunity to bring this many characters together again, so I want to keep improving on this record as much as possible, and I will continue to work hard at developing the game. I appreciate your support." Super Smash Bros. Ultimate already boasts an impressive, very impressive roster of Nintendo characters. Sans Waluigi, press F to pay respects, and the DLC packs continue to expand the available fighters. Whether this means pulling from other games, of course, including Overwatch now, or the new Nintendo games blowing up on Switch like Fire Emblem Three Houses is yet to be seen, but considering the wide gamut of characters, we are expecting the unexpected. And of course, I think that's really the highlight here, because then you have stuff like this, where Sans from Undertale is getting a costume in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, along with custom music, which is pretty impressive as well. We'll go ahead and loop this one in. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is going to keep the DLC coming, it seems, as we just broke down. But during an extended breakdown of Banjo and Kazooie's moveset, Smash director Masahiro Sakurai confirmed more Mii Fighter costumes would be coming to the game. Surprising everyone, Sans from Undertale is getting some representation as a costume for the Mii Gunner. Going further, Undertale creator Toby Fox will be providing a remix of Megalovania for Smash, which is the battle theme used for Sans during the Genocide run. Little things like that are what make me love Super Smash Bros. So much, the author says at Destructoid, and that layer of authenticity and genuine passion is rarely seen in gaming nowadays. Also, Sakurai flexed about playing Smash with Fox. What a lucky bastard, haha, they say. And so this is exactly what I'm talking about here, and I think this is the point that Sakurai is trying to drive home. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate has brought together a roster of fighters unlike anything that has ever been seen before. It has every character ever included in Super Smash Bros. On the roster, and more and more and more are coming. And I think these strange little offsets, these strange little offshoots, like Banjo and Kazooie coming in, like, you have Joker from Persona 5, these weird little characters are bringing something so incredibly unique, and I want to point out the level of detail, like adding music Megalovania from Undertale into the fact that you have this one specific skin for the Mii Fighter, the Mii Gunner. It's impressive how detailed Super Smash Bros. Ultimate has become, and I think that really does deserve a round of applause and a lot of fan adoration, because not too many games do that these days, and man, they have treated this game with respect, and I think overall they have treated the community with respect when it comes to what to expect from Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Yes, there are more DLC characters coming, which is going to do nothing but add more value to the game, and I'll be interested to see if they do like a Season 2 DLC character pass, something along those lines. Nothing like that has been announced that I'm aware of, but if you continue to make new characters, I would assume more money has to be made, because it takes a good bit of, cash and back-end finagling to get this kind of thing up and running. But if you did want to dive into Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, now is the time to do so, because more and more DLC is coming, and man, is it a good Nintendo Switch game and a good fighting game. Good. However, there's also a good Star Wars game coming to the Switch and the PS4. Star Wars Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast, and Jedi Academy are coming to Switch and the PS4. Nintendo announced an impressive number of surprises during Wednesday's Nintendo Direct event, but one of the most unexpected was re-releases of Star Wars Jedi Knight 2 Jedi Outcast and Star Wars Jedi Knight Jedi Academy on Nintendo Switch. The games were also on their way to PS4, according to an article on the official Star Wars website. Jedi Outcast will be released on September the 24th, and there is not much else to add outside of the fact that this is one of the best Star Wars action games ever created, and it's certainly not a title you would expect to randomly get a new life on Switch. Jedi Academy will follow in early 2020, including multiplayer battles courtesy of Aspire Media. The Switch versions of both titles will support motion-controlled aiming with Joy-Cons. Jedi Outcast lets you play with a variety of guns from the Star Wars canon, but the real star of the show is the lightsaber combat and force powers, which gives an impressive feeling of power and versatility for a game originally released in 2002. It's a shame none of the multiplayer modes will be included in this version of the game, but even the single-player campaign is worth revisiting if you haven't played in a while or want to experience it for the first time yourself. But of course, classic Star Wars games, I am down for it. My favorite Star Wars game, the version of the game that was for Star Wars, I believe it was Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith on the PS2. I was a big fan of that game. Some like it, some hate it. But man, I might dive into these because I have a hankering for some Star Wars action, and there aren't too many good Star Wars games out these days. Of course, we do have the new Star Wars game coming in just a couple of months. What's it called? Jedi something? No. Star Wars... Jedi Fallen Order, that's what it is. Yeah, I might pick up Jedi Fallen Order because I feel like that's kind of like a spiritual successor in a way to The Force Unleashed. Is that what that was? Something along those lines? A couple of years back. I believe it was Force Unleashed. Hold on. Now I'd have to Google. Star Wars Force Unleashed. Yeah, Force Unleashed 2, I think. Yeah, that's it. So Star Wars The Force Unleashed and The Force Unleashed 2 I found to be pretty good games, but I would love to dive in and get some classic Star Wars action. And guess what? You can too, because Star Wars Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast, and Jedi Academy are coming to the Nintendo Switch and the PS4. However, guess what else is coming? Assassin's Creed The Rebel Collection is coming to the Nintendo Switch. Now, we talked about this on yesterday's episode of the show, and so I do want to say if you want to go back and check out the rumored breakdown of what we talked about, then by all means, you can check out yesterday's show. But during Wednesday's Nintendo Direct presentation, Nintendo announced the Assassin's Creed Rebel Collection will be coming to the Nintendo Switch. The collection combines both Assassin's Creed Black Flag and Assassin's Creed Rogue, and both games will include all past DLC, plus new features like touch controls and motion aiming. Nintendo showed off Black Flag's sailing combat during the details, so expect to most likely use the feature there. And so, of course, there is no release date for the Rebel Collection as of yet, according to IGN, but of course, I'm sure there's going to be one announced shortly. But overall, this is not shocking. Again, I think that Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag is the best Assassin's Creed game that's not an Assassin's Creed game. It just doesn't feel like part of the canon, even though it is. And on top of that, I will say that Assassin's Creed Rogue is one that I have not played that I would love to dive back into, but it kind of does differentiate itself from the rest, where you have an assassin turned Templar, which is an interesting storyline to say the least. But if you do want to dive into the Rebel Collection and check out the American Revolution and a little bit of piracy mixed in there, then by all means, you can check out the Assassin's Creed Rebel Collection when it comes to the Nintendo Switch, or you can check out the games on the PS3 and the Xbox 360, or you can check out the games on the PS4 and the Xbox One, or you can play them on PC. They're pretty much out there on everything as is. However, another game is getting updated for the Nintendo Switch, that is Doom 64. It's getting a big visual upgrade for its return to a Nintendo console. And this is something we've been talking about for a couple of weeks as well, hopefully coming to the other consoles as well. Bethesda and id Software aren't just marking the 25th anniversary of Doom by re-releasing the original games on modern platforms, they're also offering the first game that many console players cut their teeth on. As part of its latest Direct presentation, Nintendo has revealed that Doom 64 is coming to the Switch on November the 22nd. Yes, it's back on a Nintendo console more than 2 decades after its N64 debut. There are not many details at this stage, but it's getting a conspicuous visual upgrade with a higher resolution, widescreen graphics that feel more appropriate for 2019 than 1997. If you recall, Doom 64 wasn't a port. It was considered a sequel to Doom 2, and it included both 32 brand new maps as well as redone artwork and tweaks that included a new laser weapon, the Unmaker. It wasn't as universally acclaimed as the core Doom PC titles, but it had its fans. More importantly, it hasn't always been easy to track down and play, but now you can fire up Doom 64 just about anywhere, even if it's on the commute to work on your Nintendo Switch. And so this is one that has been in the pipeline for a while. Of course, we had leaks from various online ratings boards, and various retailers, I think, even showed off a little bit of Doom 64. But to hear it coming to the Nintendo Switch is very fitting. Now, I would love to see this game on the PS4 and the Xbox One, as well as even on the PC, even though you can play it on the PC. But at the same time, I do understand why it's on the Nintendo Switch, originally released on the Nintendo 64. To bring it forward to the Nintendo Switch and the Nintendo Switch alone simply makes sense. It's kind of fitting in a way. It feels right, even if I would love to have it on the other consoles. But if you do want to dive in and check out Doom 64 on the Switch, again, launching November the 22nd, very close to the release date of Doom Eternal, which might be the same day. Doom Eternal release date. Let's see, and we are correct, on the same day as Doom Eternal. You can pick up Doom 64 on the Nintendo Switch if you did want to dive into a classic alongside the new, which is, of course, Doom Eternal. However, you could also dive into Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, because that has also been announced for the Nintendo Switch coming in 2020. Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition was the final game to be revealed during today's, or yesterday's, Nintendo Direct. Originally released on the Wii in 2010, Xenoblade Chronicles was later launched on the 3DS, and the upcoming Switch release promises improved graphics this time around. And of course, you can check out the entire trailer up on YouTube. But Xenoblade Chronicles is heralded as one of the best Wii games of all time. It's kind of one of the necessities, if you will, for those that are wanting to check out what the Wii really has to offer. Now, I have never played it, but I will say it looks beautiful in this remade version on the Nintendo Switch. Of course, not quite up to par with PC graphics and stuff like that, but as compared to the Wii, man, this is a big visual upgrade. Now, of course, some people might not like, the Xenoblade Chronicles combat, stuff along those lines. But man, if you are into this kind of game, then by all means, you can dive in and check it out on the Nintendo Switch when it launches in 2020. But the gameplay itself, cannot wait to see more of that. However, of course, you can check out the full trailer, which I have linked in the article, which is down below. But you should play Tetris 99 instead, honestly, because that's the best game on the Switch by far. Am I kidding? You'll never know. But Tetris 99 is being updated to version 2.0, including more modes and DLC. It's official, Tetris 99 is receiving yet another update, but it's not for the faint of heart. Version 2.0 adds Invictus mode and can only be played if you've achieved Tetris Maximus status, which requires you to get first place at least once in the game's traditional online mode. In addition to Invictus mode are new daily missions. When you clear these missions, you will acquire in-game tickets, which can then be exchanged for a variety of custom themes. New player icons will also be added. Apart from this, a new wave of content is coming for players who previously purchased the Big Block DLC. Here's the rundown, courtesy of the official Nintendo PR. In 2-piece share battle mode, share Joy-Con controllers for a 2-player game against each other and the CPU. In local arena mode, friends can get together in person to battle via new local wireless multiplayer. The version 2.0 update and new paid DLC for Tetris 99 launches today, September the 5th. And of course, I'm not kidding, Tetris 99 is pretty much one of the best reasons to have a Nintendo Switch online subscription. Now, I will say, a bit biased because I am a huge fan of Tetris overall. But now, if you do want to dive in and give it a shot, it is free to start. Of course, there is DLC, stuff like that, to dive into if you did want to go above and beyond and get the full experience, if you will. But to see it getting more updates, to see it continuing to get more DLC, more modes, is something that I'm very glad to see. And I will also say that I'm very happy this Invictus mode is only unlocked if you achieve Tetris Maximus status, which again requires you to get first place. That's missing in today's gaming space, where you have to earn something, where you have some kind of title once you've achieved some kind of big in-game event. That isn't something we see very often. It feels like gamers are often being kind of spoon-fed when it comes to the kind of content they are intaking. And man, it's good to see that they are just kind of like, nah, you can't play this if you suck. And I like that. I respect that. And I suck, so, you know, that's coming from me. However, moving away from the Nintendo talk, sort of, kind of, we are going to be talking about the top 10 UK best-selling games for August of 2019. And guess what? Nintendo dominated, shockingly enough. Activision Blizzard triumphed in the UK last month, with Crash Team Racing outperforming every other title at retail. The revamped kart racer success was highlighted in the monthly retail charts compiled by UKIE, which shows the title sold 17% more units than the next biggest selling game, Super Mario Maker 2. The PS4 version led the way, accounting for 61% of all copies sold. Crash Team Racing was also number 1 in 2 out of 5 of weekly charts for the month. Nintendo was the top-selling publisher of the month, shifting more than double the units of the next highest, Warner Bros. Interactive, and generating almost 4 times the revenue of Activision Blizzard, which was second in terms of sales value. In fact, Nintendo accounted for 22.6% of all boxed games sold and 32.2% of all revenue generated. Half of the 10 best-selling games were developed and published by the platform holder. However, in terms of unit sales, more PS4 games were sold than those of any other platform, with Nintendo Switch a distant second. Nintendo's console trumped Sony's in terms of sales revenues. Overall, software unit sales for the month were down 13% from July and down 16% when compared to August of 2018. And here are the biggest sellers for the month. Number 1, Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled. 2, Super Mario Maker 2. 3, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. 4, FIFA 19. 5, Grand Theft Auto 5. 6, Fire Emblem 3 Houses. 7, Minecraft Nintendo Switch Edition. 8, Red Dead Redemption 2. 9, F1 2019. And 10, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Nintendo Switch exclusives in the top 10. They are killing it this month with Nintendo, or should I say last month, but this month will also be good as well. Now, the best-selling games for each platform were as follows. Number 1, Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled for the PS4. Xbox One was Forza Horizon 4. Nintendo Switch was Super Mario Maker 2. And PC was Battlefield 5, shockingly enough. But overall, I will say Nintendo continues to kill it. And considering that the sales are down, that doesn't signify anything major in my opinion, because you do have the beginning of the end of this console generation. People are kind of saving their money for next year. They might be buying less games, fewer games in preparation for the holiday season coming up as well, kind of waiting on Black Friday sales, big discounts for the holiday season. That kind of thing is going on. And of course, it was a pretty slow month for game releases. There were some big titles here and there, but nothing that was like a major seller aside from Crash Team Racing. But again, if you do want to dive in and check out any of these top games, they're all relatively good-looking offerings. I've heard great things, especially about Fire Emblem Three Houses, but that's just me. However, you might not want to buy games. You might want to subscribe to games. And let me tell you, Xbox Game Pass is absolutely killing it. And how much are they killing it, you might ask? I have purchased 3 Xbox One consoles in my lifetime, okay? I purchased one whenever it was the base console, probably back around 2014. Then I got the Xbox One S, and a couple of years later after I had sold my original Xbox because I wanted to try the Game Pass life, and it wasn't quite where it needed to be. Then the Xbox One X came out, and I was like, sure, whatever. Every time I've been disappointed with what Xbox has had to offer, yet again, I see the updates for Xbox Game Pass. I see Gears 5 coming out, and yesterday I had an Xbox One X in my eBay cart. I held out, I didn't do it, but man, if you want a good deal, a great deal, get an Xbox One X and get Game Pass. You'll never want another game in your life if you're not picky. You can get some really good titles, and on top of that, Xbox Game Pass Ultimate that bundles Xbox Live and of course Game Pass together for $15 a month is a phenomenal deal, even if you are on PC. But here's what's coming to Game Pass for September, and of course, this is a pretty big month. To kick off the start of this month, Microsoft today revealed the next slate of titles coming to Game Pass for consoles. Of course, the standout release this week is that of Gears 5, which is slated to launch this Friday, September the 6th, and those who subscribe to Game Pass Ultimate will be able to download the Ultimate Edition of Gears 5 this week, while standard subscribers will have to wait until September the 10th. This addition to the service has been known for quite some time, considering every first-party game studio's title hits the service on day one. Ahead of Gears 5, though, one of 2018's best indie titles, Dead Cells, will be launching for Game Pass today. In addition, the Xbox 360 edition of Metal Gear Solid HD Edition, which includes the second and third entries in the series, will also be dropping. Lastly, to round out the week, September the 6th, we'll also see the arrival of Creature in the Well, which launches on the same day. And to round out the games coming in September so far, next week on the 12th, we see both Enter the Gungeon and Goner Blueberry Edition arriving on Game Pass. All in all, that's a very solid lineup of titles that I think many will be pleased with. Lastly, here's what will be leaving soon: Onrush, Lego Batman 2, Joyride Turbo, Splosion Man, The Maw, Lego Indiana Jones, Shantae Half Genie Hero, Split Second, Ninja Gaiden Black, and The Hunter Call of the Wild. And if you didn't already know, Game Pass Ultimate is currently on sale for $2, which will net you 2 months of the service. If you do want to give it a go, now is probably the best time to do so. And I want to highlight this for a moment. If you want to play Gears of War 5, or Gears 5, whatever the official terminology is, you can pay $2 and you can play it for 2 straight months. That's about as much Gears as you can handle. On top of that, you have some pretty big games coming out for the service as well. The Outer Worlds, again, you have stuff like this small indie title, The Creature in the Well. You have Dead Cells. Try out Game Pass, please. If you have a PC or an Xbox, give it a shot. It's $2. Literally $2. But of course, that's just my 2 cents. However, this is a pretty solid lineup. I'm very excited about what the Ultimate offerings are, especially. I will be playing through Gears 5, hopefully starting today, because I know the servers go live at 9 o'clock tonight my time, so I will be definitely diving in and seeing what's going on with Kate Diaz in the new Gears franchise entry. But overall, Creature in the Well, I've heard good things about. On top of that, and Dead Cells, of course, a darling little indie title. But if you don't want to subscribe to Game Pass, you might just like your games on Steam on PC. But the library is getting an overhaul this month, and here is the snazzy new look. This has been a long time coming. After years of settling for serviceable, Valve is finally updating Steam's interface to something a little spiffier. As our friends at PC Gamer reported, the Steam library is getting a major overhaul on September the 17th, which you will need to opt into the Steam beta client to access, and that introduces you to a smarter layout and intuitive-looking filters to display your games in a way that is more exciting and navigable — what a strange word that one is — than an alphabetical list. The headlining feature is the addition of collections, which lets you organize games according to tags you set yourself. If you already use categories to sort your games, that is to say, you're one of the 11 people who knew the feature existed, they'll automatically become collections in the new system. Otherwise, you can create collections according to their genre, features, players, and other factors. And once you set up collections, Steam will automatically add whatever games you buy to them. And so, of course, here is the look of the new layout. You have pretty much a much better overall offering, I think, here. Much more enticing, I suppose, looking, library here. Something that's way more organized and way more aesthetically pleasing. But outside of collections, you can also create a shelf for your library's homepage that displays your favorite games, whatever you're playing right now, or just whatever tickles your fancy. You can also pin collections to your homepage to keep them fresh in your mind. And of course, you can see all of these on display in the headshots, the screenshots, the shots that I have, shown off here. But I will say I'm more excited about the GOG Galaxy, launcher that brings together all of your libraries across Discord and across your Origins and your Uplays and your Steams. It brings it all together, and of course that should be launching hopefully by the end of 2019. But for the native Steam offering to finally be getting an update that shows off stuff like achievements in a much more streamlined fashion, to be able to have kind of a homepage for each individual game and something that is just not quite so crowded and archaic, is something that has been a long time coming, and thank God we are finally getting an update. But if you did want to check out the update again, launching later on this month, I believe they said the 17th of September, something along those lines, and again, you have to opt into the beta version of the client, but hey, it's totally worth it. Totally worth it, and hopefully going to be rolling out to the full version soon. But to round out today's show, we have the birth of a brand new studio. Sledgehammer Games is opening a studio in Australia. Crikey! Call of Duty developer Sledgehammer Games is opening a new studio in Australia. The Activision-owned company will expand with an office in Melbourne, according to producer Elena Cole, who is the studio's new first official hire. Cole announced the news during a talk at the New Zealand Game Developers Conference and later released the information on her Twitter feed. According to Australian website Endgames, which also spotted Cole's tweet, Sledgehammer Games already had a minor presence in Melbourne in the form of a small engineering team. However, the expansion will create a full game studio. Sledgehammer Games is known for its work on the Call of Duty franchise, including Advanced Warfare and Modern Warfare 3. One of my favorites. We have reached out to Activision for comment on the new studio. While the precise plans for Sledgehammer Games Melbourne are not yet clear, this is still positive news for the country's games industry. Along with the foundation of Epic Games Australia, this is another sign that big international games companies are returning to the region. Now, one thing to note here that many people might not be aware of, Australia is pretty barren when it comes to the gaming industry. There is not really a big presence in that part of the world, and so to see more studios getting in on that specific area, I think is fantastic, both for the economy of that region, but also for those that are creatives, those that might bring new ideas to the gaming space that might not have an opportunity to do so. That's a fantastic opportunity for them. Now, I will say, what do we think this is going to be doing? What is this specific part of Sledgehammer going to be working on? Personally, I hope that it's a brand new IP. That's a far shot. That's a stretch. That's probably not going to be happening. That's kind of like your half-court shot at the buzzer. That's just not probably going to be a reality. But overall, glad to see they are spreading, expanding, and I think that Sledgehammer Games does a pretty fantastic job when it comes to especially the Call of Duty franchise. So hey, maybe they'll work on more of those. But that rounds out today's episode of the Jampack Report. Of course, we were jam-packed with brand new news. And of course, if you are brand new to the show, thank you for checking out the program. And I do hope you enjoyed what I brought to the table. Of course, it is hosted 5 days a week, Monday through Friday on youtube.com/SamuelAdamsMedia. If you did want to give it a look, give it a listen, and subscribe via YouTube or your podcast feed. But until tomorrow, you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. I will talk to you soon, and peace.